This one time I was mugged for my Iron Maiden shirt, not because the assailant liked and wanted it, but because I refused to say R&B was better. Yeah, so like I was walking home from a gig one time, and you guys can tell this, I'm wearing flannel, but I'm not really like an outdoorsy kind of guy, and that's very much bogan territory there. I'm pretty much a bogan. I had an Iron Maiden t-shirt on. Big fan of Eddie, the character from that I know is what he's called. To add to the legitimacy of the story. Number of the Beast. Oh, what a song. Among others, you know, I don't want to waste your time listing off all the Iron Maiden songs that I know, because frankly, you deserve better. But so here's what happened is, like, you know those, I don't know if you've ever been in one of these situations where something starts off as a disagreement and it turns into a mugging, like you piss the person off so much that they just want to like hurt you even further. And so what happened was, I was walking along and I had this Iron Maiden t-shirt on, and there was a guy, he had, what is that concert, the Rhythm and Vines, he had the design of that t-shirt on. And he yelled across, I was in, do you know that park, it's a weird park, but do you know the park that they hand out all the soup to like homeless people, and I think it's like Victoria Square? Look,
Latimer Square.
Is that what it is? Yeah, Latimer Square, I was there.
Why were you there?
Free soup. Free soup. Like, they saw the flannel and they were like, you look like you need some soup, buddy. So what happened was, but you know, there's like all those new apartments being built. I was walking along there, and I just hear like from across the street, you know, Iron Maiden sucks. And I was like, what kind of fucking shirt is he wearing? R&B? What genre is that? And I was like, R&B sucks. And like, you know those, do you remember there was that kid in primary school who would constantly say those your mum jokes to everything, but if anybody said one thing to him, don't you fucking talk about my mother like that, like, you know, just like a do you know that fucking kid? He was one of those people growing up, I guess, and he was like, what'd you fucking say about R&B? His voice didn't crack like that, it was deeper than that. And so he comes over and he's like, that, bro, why do you like fucking Iron Maiden for? They're so 80s, you gotta move on, R&B is where it's at now. And I was like, yeah, well, I hate Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg is not R&B. And I went, fair enough. Alicia Keys, is that an R&B artist? And he was like, you don't know what R&B is, do you? And I was like, all I know about R&B is it's not as good as Iron Maiden. And he was like, you have fucked me off so much right now, I'm going to take your wallet. So he pulled out like he pulled out one of those butterfly knife things, you know, he had one of those, I can't do it, but you know, he had one of those, and he was like, unless you admit that R&B is better than Iron Maiden, I'm going to kill you. And I was like, hang on a second, didn't you say you were going to take my wallet? And he was like, yes, I did. That is a good point. Unless you say that R&B is better than Iron Maiden, I'm going to take your wallet. And I was like, you know what? I think it's the most Iron Maiden thing ever to be killed by someone for not admitting that Iron Maiden is like worse than R&B, whatever that weird arrangement we had was. And then luckily there was a bunch of people in line for the soup, and they all had Iron Maiden t-shirts on. It was kind of like a solidarity thing, and they were like, what's going on over there? And I was like, brothers, help me. I was trying to take my wallet. And you know, I had like one of those duct tape wallets. It was like, you know, I was like, bro, you don't want this wallet. But then all these Iron Maiden fans come running over, and like, you know, he saw he was clearly outnumbered and outgunned, and so he was like, no, this is getting too fucking weird for me. And so he left, and we were like, yeah, run, bitch. I don't know. And then we enjoyed some lovely soup afterwards. So, what do you guys think? Was that a real story, or was that was I coming up with that? So bad it was good. Yeah, that basically sums me up. So I'm taking none of you bought that.